Alright everyone, so Sasuke Retsuden Chapter 2 has officially been released and I am here to give you guys my review. Now before we get to the review guys, as always, I do have to ask you that if you want to show your support for the channel, you know what to do. Consider leaving a like, sharing this video out there, hit the subscribe button if you're new, ring the bell icon to be notified whenever I post a new video, including my review of the upcoming chapters of the Sasuke Retsuden manga. I will be reviewing every chapter, so if you want to be notified whenever my review of the newest chapter comes out, please remember to click on the bell icon and make sure to click on all notifications to be sure that you are notified whenever I post a new video, and please comment down below with whatever your thoughts are on this chapter. Now let's get to the review. So this chapter is a continuation of where the previous chapter left off. We just saw the prisoner being eaten by Meno, and Sasuke of course is wondering what the hell is going on, and we cut to a scene in the actual prison, or more specifically outside in the prison yard where we see all of them working, and Sasuke is talking to another prison inmate, and we see a moment where the guy actually gets injured and he's actually happy, and he informs Sasuke that the reason why he's happy is because it means we get a visit to the doctor, and he explains to him that the doctor is actually someone who is very popular among all the prisoners, someone who is very beautiful, someone who's very single, and Sasuke even asks him like, hey, how do you know she's single? And he says it's because she doesn't have a ring on her finger. And it's explained to us that in the land of Ridaku, it's actually a tradition for married couples to exchange wedding rings, sort of like the same tradition that a lot of us actually here in the real world have. You know, when people get married, they put rings on their fingers, except in the world of, you know, Naruto, it seems like that actually doesn't actually appear to be the case, except in the land of Ridaku. So he tells him that. And then we cut to a scene in the prison cell where we see some of the prisoners, you know, they're gambling, playing dice, and then Sasuke is asked to actually join them, but he tells them, no, I'm not really interested. And then immediately he says, no, you know what, on second thought, I will play. And he says, if I win, then you guys get to do me a favor. And they say, all right, fine. And here we actually see him using other styles of ninjutsu, and this is one thing that I do like about this chapter, is that we actually do get to see Sasuke using other types of ninjutsu, something that I really do wish that we would have seen in the Boruto manga and in the Boruto anime. At least to my recollection, I can't remember him using other styles of ninjutsu, other nature styles of ninjutsu in the Boruto anime or in the Boruto manga. At least, you know, again, right now I can't really remember. Maybe you guys remember a moment in the anime where he did use it, and if you did, let me know about it in the comments. But we see him using an earth style jutsu to make a stone look like as if it's a diamond, and he says, here, I'll bet with this. And he plays the game, and when he picks up the dice, before he does, he asks them, okay, so what exactly do I need to get a winning hand? And they say, you need a triple snake eyes. And he says, okay, well, that's the hand I'm gonna get. And we see him subtly using wind release. So not only do we see him using earth release, a little bit later we see him using wind release, but we see him use it so subtly that it shows you just how much of a master of ninjutsu Sasuke actually has become, that he uses it so subtly that the other prisoners who were sitting right in front of him didn't even notice. And I really liked seeing that. So he gets the hand he needs to win, and then he says, okay, here's my favor, I need you guys to watch out for the guards. Essentially, he's going to sneak out, and if any guards show up, I need you to cover for me. And they try to tell him, no, you need to ask us for a different favor, because that's like asking us to commit you know what. And he says, no, don't worry. And they reveal some information to him where they said the only way prisoners are allowed to walk about is if they have a bandana tied to their hand, sort of like a hall pass. You know, back in school when you need to go to the bathroom or something, you're given a hall pass, and that's the way for you to get past the hall monitor. It's sort of something like that. But Sasuke's like, nah, man, I don't need to. And we know why. I mean, we know Sasuke, we know how strong he is, we know he doesn't need that stuff, he's fine. So he leaves, and he runs into Meno, and on his way there he's actually wondering, you know, Meno might be a summoning creature, and he's wondering that this guy Zansul, I forgot about his name in the previous chapter, but Zansul, he figures, must have some pretty insane chakra, because you need a lot of chakra in order to be able to maintain a summoning for this long. And I do like this because it is a bit of a callback to the training we saw in the Chunin exams arc between Naruto and Jiraiya, where Jiraiya was trying to teach him to perform a summoning jutsu, and during that training we realized that you actually need a lot of chakra in order to be able to perform a summoning. Naruto on his own was barely able to summon Gamabunta, or no, it wasn't Gamabunta, it was Gamakichi, and then he needed the Nine Tails chakra, he needed Kurama's chakra to be able to summon Gamabunta. So yeah, summoning a creature to this world requires a lot of chakra, and I did like this because it is a bit of a callback to what we saw in the Naruto manga. So he runs into Meno, and he starts fighting him, and here we see Sasuke actually using an ice release jutsu to make a kunai in order to fight Meno, and he ends up cutting off his claws, and he ends up splitting him in half, or at least he cuts him straight down his torso, and it appears like Meno was severely injured before he was able to run away. And Sasuke, of course, thinks this is bad because it means there's evidence now that he was outside, and it'll blow his cover, which he's desperately trying to keep at this point, because we all know Sasuke could easily take out this entire prison, no problem. But remember, he is undercover, so if you're wondering why he's a little bit worried, it's because of that. And just a minute to talk about the ice style, because you might be wondering, well, how the hell is Sasuke using an ice release jutsu? I thought ice release was a Kekkei, and you're not allowed to use Kekkei unless you are born into the specific clan that's allowed to use it, or you are literally born with the ability to use it, like the Sharingan or with wood style. Well, it's actually explained in one of the novels that Sasuke throughout this time has been using his Rinnegan to be able to mimic Kekkei, and Sasuke himself even says that as strong as this is, it's still nowhere near as strong as, let's say, for example, Haku's ice style, or as powerful as Haku's ice style would have been if he was as powerful as Sasuke. So he even admits that this is just like a cheap imitation of an actual Kekkei, and it's not just ice style. He's been experimenting with other types of Kekkei in order to try to imitate them using the Rinnegan, and thanks to its ability to allow its user to understand chakra. Remember, if you have the Rinnegan, you're immediately able to use all five natures of all five changes in chakra nature. So that's what Sasuke's been doing. So if you want an explanation for how Sasuke's able to use, ice style, there you go. So after that, we get to the very last scene in the manga, and this was actually really impressive. Specifically, I want to talk about that one panel that was drawn by Kimura, and how he is really talented at being able to mimic Kishimoto's style, because we see Sasuke walking about, and then Zansu walks up behind him, and he says, "So you're the one who hurt Meno." And before this, Sasuke is surprised because he notices that Meno was still walking around. He was fine. None of the injuries he gave him, they all seem to have been healed up, and he's wondering, well, how the hell did this happen? And then that's when Zansu walks up behind him and says that, "Oh, so you're the one who did this." And then Sasuke realizes, okay, I don't have any choice. I need my questions answered. So he tries to put Zansu under Genjutsu in order to be able to ask him his questions, and it doesn't work. And Sasuke's surprised, and then he takes a close look at Zansu's eyes, and turns out they're glass eyes, they're not real. So that's why Sasuke's Genjutsu doesn't work on him. And Sasuke's cover is a little bit blown here, because now Zansu knows he can use Genjutsu. Now keep in mind, he hasn't figured out that it's the Sharingan specifically, and if you're wondering how that's the case, if you're wondering how Zansu didn't realize it was the Sharingan, it's because, remember, in the previous chapter it was explained to us that the land of Ridaku was closed off from the rest of the world, so they're not used to seeing ninjutsu. In fact, ninjutsu is basically considered to be almost like a myth, kind of like how the rest of the world thought that the Sage of Six Paths was a myth, and how they thought the Rinnegan was just a myth, that it's not this godly ability. So that's, if you're wondering why Zansu didn't immediately recognize the Sharingan and who Sasuke actually was, there you go. And he essentially warns him that, you know, I told you before, don't think this means you've got free reign to do whatever the hell you want, and now I've got my eye on you. And now Sasuke's worried because, yeah, his plan for staying undercover and not really being, you know, noticed, not really standing out, has basically been completely thrown out the window. So there you go, guys. That is the chapter. Overall, I thought it was really good. I really liked it. I really do hope you guys enjoyed. Now remember, guys, I really hope you guys do read this chapter more than once, because Shueisha does pay attention to how many people read this chapter. Now previously, Chapter 1 did get so much attention that it got more views than even the Boruto manga, which is good, and I'm hoping that this chapter will elevate it to maybe number 2 or number 1 on Manga Plus, which would immediately get the attention of Shueisha and might make them realize, oh, maybe people do want this bi-weekly release. So if you want that, if you want Boruto to be bi-weekly, read this chapter, read it on Manga Plus. Read it once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, as many times as you want, in order to get the message to Shueisha that we want the bi-weekly release, that we prefer it over the monthly release, even though I'm sure most people don't really have a problem with a monthly release. But if you want the bi-weekly format, then like I said, make sure to read this chapter as many times as you can. I know I definitely will. So with all of that said and out of the way, guys, thank you so much for watching until the end. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, like I said, consider leaving a like, sharing this video out there, hit the subscribe button if you haven't, ring the bell for notifications, comment down below with your thoughts, and please, guys, consider becoming a member of this channel by clicking on the blue join button that is next to the subscribe button. It's a great way to help support the channel. And with all that said, I hope I'll see you guys for my review of Chapter 3. Bye for now.